Tracy Markley, and welcome to the first video podcast of the Gig-A-Byte podcast. Today, I'm welcoming our Gig Harbor Police Chief Kelly Busey to discuss the current state of crime in our area, along with what the police officers are doing these days, how things are going with the department. We have a really great police force here in Gig Harbor, and Chief, I'm so glad to have your wisdom and perspective on the issues that we're facing in Gig Harbor. So tell us a little bit about your background. And you're one of the longest serving employees that we have at the city.
I am. You can't get rid of me.
31 years?
31
correct?
years, right? Yeah. So I started as an entry-level police officer here in 1991.
Nice.
So the department's doing well. We're fully staffed back to our previous budgeted allotment of officers, but thankfully we have the opportunity in 23 and 24 to hire 4 more additional police officers to get us a little closer to where we should be. So that's been appreciated. I think that it's going to be a noticeable effect on the street, and it'll really help the department run more smoothly.
So happy to add those 4 additional officers. Really, really are. So how's the department doing?
Great. I'm really proud of our officers. They're all very professional. We have a little internal mantra of providing the best possible service. And that's something we talk about internally. And that means that at the end of the day, what I want our officers to stand in front of somebody that's reporting a crime or anything, any public service contact that we have. And at the end of that contact, just say to themselves, now have I provided the best possible service? Is there anything else I can do for them? And that's really done us well. We've gone at least 9 years, probably longer now, since we've had any citizen complaints.
That's
which
amazing.
Is remarkable. Yeah. So they're out there, they're being professional, they're doing the right things for the right reasons and doing it the right way.
That's great. I don't know that many cities can say that about their department. Right. So we're really fortunate.
Yeah, very happy with them.
I can imagine that you are. Yeah. I can see how proud you are of them. So besides what we see on the street, what else does the department do behind the scenes?
Well, we have some other units too, as staffing allows. We have a bicycle unit, which is very popular. I know when the bikes are out because I'll get phone calls or emails saying how much they're appreciated. We put them out on the Cushman Trail. We put them in our retail areas. We put them in apartment complexes, like if we have vehicle prowls or things like that at night. Yeah. And so they're really a great tool because they're quiet, but they're also approachable. So somebody on the Cushman Trail can stop and talk to an officer and have that two-way interaction. It's really a good thing for us. Then in the summer months, we regularly staff a patrol boat out on the harbor. So this is a
patrol boat.
We all do it, and I did that for many years. It was a lot of fun. But Gig Harbor, as you know, is one of the more popular boating destinations in Puget Sound. And so having that sort of contact and making sure everybody's safe and orderly on the water is good. I always say that having the boat on the water, just being there is 90% of the job, because then everybody just kind of behaves a little differently. And it's almost a chamber of commerce sort of a situation for us. It's a good interaction.
That's great. And I know that our kayaking community, they really appreciate when the police boat is out to kind of help them navigate around the larger boats and sailboats and yachts out there. So it's great. It's great that you provide that. So the question that everyone is asking is, talking about the state of crime in the city, what the level of crime that we're seeing. So tell us a little bit about what you're seeing.
Well, it's no secret that crime is up everywhere. Thankfully, though, I always like to lead with Gig Harbor remains a very safe place. We don't see violent crime much at all, very low rate of violent crime. But what has happened in the last couple of years is that our retail theft has really exploded.
Yes.
It's gone way, way up. And also motor vehicle theft has gone up too. We took 3 motor vehicle thefts in one day just a couple of weeks ago, and that would be a yearly total for us maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's alarming. We've really tried to work with the businesses to help them protect themselves a little bit better and to be more obvious in those retail locations. So those are really the 2 big primary concerns, retail theft and motor vehicle theft right now.
Yeah. I know we get a lot of emails. I know you do too, asking, what's going on. So what contributed to how we got here to this level that we're seeing today?
Sure, that's a logical, good question. The things that added up to where we're at today with our crime level, kind of multifaceted. First, we'll start with not addressing the drug problem in our communities, in our state and in our nation, right? We're not properly funding alternatives, counseling services, addiction recovery services. There's no place for a lot of drug addicts to go.
Yeah.
And drug addicts need to fuel their habit, and they do that through stealing or just trying to survive by stealing things. We don't want to see that. We want to incentivize drug treatment. We want to help people get help so that they don't detract from our communities. And that's sincere. So every time we come in contact with someone, we try to offer them services, whatever are available. So then we have some changes in legislation, some laws that changed in 2021 that really kind of slowed down the ability to be a proactive police department that we've been. Namely, the inability to pursue somebody. Now, there's been a lot of talk lately about vehicle pursuits and policing. And I got to tell you that we're not interested in chasing everybody that moves. That's not it at all. Pursuits are dangerous. They're dangerous for the officer, the public, and the suspect who's trying to get away. So we don't want to just chase every tail light out or somebody that stole a candy bar. That doesn't make sense.
Although I did like the flashlight contraption that someone put in their headlight.
Oh, right. Yeah. We're not going to chase on a minor.
Check out the GHPD Facebook page to see that post.
People can be creative,
They
right?
can be very creative.
Yeah. But even prior to 2021, we had restrictive policies in place that prohibited our officers from chasing a vehicle when the danger outweighed the reason for the pursuit. And that's what we really want to get back to focusing on. So in Olympia right now, the legislators are considering changing the law back to kind of how it was, or some variation of that, to at least have the threat of being chased available. Right now, thieves know that they can flee the scene of a shoplifting or other relatively minor crimes and not be pursued. They know this. They'll make obscene gestures at us when they leave. They'll ram our patrol cars or other surrounding cars in their efforts to leave, often in stolen vehicles too, because there's no real penalty for that. Another contributing factor is that our jails were closed. In COVID, they closed way down. And we could hardly book anybody into jail. We used the jail as a good deterrent for theft. In Gig Harbor, almost all shoplifters went to jail, which isn't common in a lot of other communities. And the word got out. The bad people knew that. And so they would say, well, I'm not going to go to Gig Harbor because if I get caught, I know I'm going to jail, and that's a big inconvenience to them. So the jails still are a little bit struggling because they're down in staffing right now. And so we have heavy booking restrictions. We can't always take people to jail. In fact, we're pulling people out of stolen cars and the jail won't accept them. So we just send them down the road. So it's kind of a different world, and we're adjusting to that. So, but then finally, when we put all this together, the drug laws, we're coming in contact with people that are in possession of drugs with no accountability. The law is written right now based on a now famous court case, the Blake decision that happened in early 2021, that the first 2 times we come in contact with someone in possession of drugs, we can't take them to jail. We have to give them a referral card and say, good luck. We hope you get some help. We want you to get some help, but there's no teeth to that.
And there's no way to track how many times a person's been given a card.
It's very cumbersome. So somebody could have been contacted in Bremerton or Tacoma, and we wouldn't necessarily know that.
That's tough.
All right.
So I know you guys are working so hard every day in spite of these challenges. What is the department proactively doing to address these issues that you're coming across?
Sure. We've had some retail theft operations, right? So we saturate our retail cores with extra officers and undercover detectives and really kind of try to send a message that we're out there, actually. And then one of our more successful things that we've done is implemented something called a business check program. So a lot of times, a big corporate store, generally, they prohibit their employees from intervening. We don't want a physical confrontation. So I get that part of it. But some go as far as saying that employees can't even pick up the phone and call the police.
Wow.
And to me, that's going too far, because if somebody's stealing from your business, we want to be notified of that. So what we've done is we've educated both our 911 center and the businesses that experience high degree of theft that they can pick up the phone and they can say, hey, this is Tracy, and I'm calling from the ABC store. I'd like a business check. And so the 911 operators know to not ask you any more follow-up questions because that would put you in violation of your corporate policy. So they just know Tracy at the ABC store needs a business check. And that's a signal to our officers to go to that store because something's going on. We're not profiling anybody. We don't know what's going on necessarily, but our presence alone has deterred a lot of crimes, and that's been very successful.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's something we really want our community to know exists, so that they've got that option.
Correct.
In your mind, what needs to happen to create some changes so that you can do your job easier?
Right. Well, we need to, again, reinstill the ability for us to pursue people.
Yeah.
Again, it's not necessarily that we are going to be chasing everybody, but the criminals have to relearn that we have that ability.
Yeah.
Right. They have to operate under the threat of being chased, at least, so that they're not so flippant about it. They're not giving us those obscene gestures and driving away with impunity. So that's one thing. And I really think we have to address our drug problem.
Absolutely.
We need to incentivize the drug problem. We'd really like to fund and get you into drug treatment. And if you don't go, there's got to be a consequence. It has to be out there.
Yeah.
And finally, mental health is something we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
It's becoming a real problem in every community in the state. So we need to get people more resources for mental health.
Yeah. A lot of work to do. Not impossible, though.
Not impossible. We're working very hard, and you've been helpful in the Olympia and that. I go down tomorrow, in fact, to spend the day meeting with some legislators and try to give them some additional perspective and reassure them that we don't want to abuse those powers.
Right.
We just need to have the ability to do our job.
Right. I was happy to testify on behalf of our police department and the police departments across the state to change that pursuit law. So
and they listen to the mayors. The legislators have made it very clear that the mayors have a lot of sway. So I'm glad you did that and I appreciate that support.
You are so welcome. So I know you receive a ton of support from our community, but what types of support do you receive from our residents?
Well, I'm sure that 20 of the pounds I carry are due to all the treats and stuff that the citizens want to bring into us.
They do love bringing you stuff.
They do. But one of my favorite parts of the police department when I give a tour is a specific bulletin board that we have near my office that I hang up only the kudos and the compliments and the accolades that come in from our community. And that board fills up every month. I have to clean it off every month. And we have nothing but positive feedback from the community. I mentioned the lack of sustained citizen complaints that we get.
It's phenomenal.
Just people doing the right thing. And even then, I'll have to catch our officers doing the right thing sometimes. And they do it consistently when they don't know I'm around. I'll watch them interact in a mental health crisis state or a retail theft operation that they don't even know I'm around, and I just see them doing the right things. And so the community knows that. The other part of that, though, is that our officers know it.
Yeah.
We talk about this openly within the police department, that we don't ever want to jeopardize that relationship because they're nothing but supportive.
That's amazing.
Right.
And so you have Facebook page, which we will also link at the bottom of this video along with some other information, and Twitter.
We do have Facebook and Twitter.
All right.
And so those are great ways that we interact with the community. Those have helped quite a bit. We can post a picture of some unidentified suspect, and I'm telling you, you'll be surprised who gives them up. We're hearing from mothers, ex-wives, friends, things like that. So that's helpful to us, and that really helps us clear a lot of cases. So it is a two-way communication. There's also, we put some public safety alerts out there. We'll put a couple of humorous things just to keep their interest, and that really kind
Which
of
are my
keeps things
favorite.
alive.
So again, check out the police department's Facebook page for some funny little memes and things.
But
always with the intention of educating the public on what is going on and letting our community know what our officers are doing and how they're out there working. Even within the constraints that you're working in, you're out there doing your best. And I know our officers are doing their best. I get many emails myself thanking the city for providing such great service. So that's a testament to you and your leadership, and and our officers they're amazing. Every one of them.
They're very good.
Well, I thank you again so much for being here, Chief. Is there any last closing remarks that you'd like to make?
I appreciate the opportunity to speak on these topics and your support and that of the council too. I think we're doing some good things for Gig Harbor. And I'll tell you that every one of our officers wants to keep Gig Harbor the safe place that it is. So I want to carry that on.
Well, thank you so much again for being here. So we're going to have a brief break, and then we're going to talk to a local business owner. So this is our first video podcast, as I mentioned, and at the end of each of these, I want to highlight a local business, new or existing, and so stay tuned for that. Thank you. Welcome back to the Gig-A-Byte podcast. Each episode, we want to feature a local business and hear about their story and how you can support them. And today, I'm happy to have Brittany Erwin of Bagels, and Butters joining me. Welcome, Brittany.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and your business.
So Bagels, and Butters, we're opening in Gig Harbor soon. I've been working on getting this open for about 1.5 years now. I'm from New England and miss East Coast style bagels.
Yeah.
So I've been in the restaurant industry for 18 years now, and decided finally it was time to open my own place, and wanted to do something I was really passionate about and really missed the bagels, and kind of went down that avenue.
Nice. So where can we find you? Like where will you be located?
So we're located at 3308 Uddenberg Lane, downtown by the waterfront.
Great.
Kind of right by the post office, really walkable area.
That's perfect. I know we'll have at the bottom of the video kind of your contact information and your address, phone number. Can you tell us a little bit about what your menu selection is going to be?
So we're gonna have a little bit of everything. It's not gonna be a full deli, but we're gonna have deli style options. So we'll have a whole wall of bagels every day, with all different flavors.
Sounds
We have
amazing.
12 to 15 different bagels every day.
What's your favorite?
That's really hard.
It's hard.
It changes
Probably not
every
possible
day.
to choose.
Yeah, I kind of stick to a rhythm. Everything will be my favorite every once in a while, and then the spinach is one of my favorites also.
Ooh, that sounds good. Healthy.
Mostly.
Yeah.
It's still carbs, but and then we're gonna have a huge list of cream cheese schmears, compound butters,
Nice.
and then have breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, all kinds of deli meats and cheeses to kind of build your own sandwiches.
That sounds so good. I had some questions come in about any allergies or dietary restrictions. Do you guys have the ability to accommodate anybody?
We do. The big thing, we're not gonna have gluten-free bagels.
Yeah.
That's been a big
Kind of hard
question.
to crack.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really impossible to get a good leavened yeast dough
Yeah.
and then boil it with gluten-free
Yes.
flour. But we will have gluten-free everything biscuits, so you can still get
Oh.
a sandwich on fresh made bread that's
Nice.
gluten-free. And then we'll have a lot of vegan options too. Most of our bagels are naturally vegan, so just makes sense to offer. We also have vegan cream cheese that we make in-house.
Oh, great.
And we have like apple butters, hummus, a couple of different things that aren't dairy loaded.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I know people have been really looking forward to your shop opening, and our allergy community will be very happy to know
Yep.
that they have some options, myself included. So that is awesome. Is there anything else that you want people to know about Bagels, and Butters, or anything unique about you that you would like to share?
I mean, my biggest thing that I want everyone knowing going in is we're family run, very small. Everything is made, everything's homemade. We're doing everything in small batches, nothing big and commercial. There are very few bagel places in the area,
Yeah.
but those places are making mass amounts and just kind of cranking them out. Everything is hand rolled, everything's made in-house, fresh every single day. So it's going to be the freshest of fresh and the best quality that we can provide.
That is so amazing. We're so happy to have you in our city.
Well,
and we're
glad to be
so happy, glad that we can't wait for the ribbon cutting.
Yes.
So thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And again, we'll have your information on the bottom so people can click on your website and find you.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Thank you.